Gigabyte.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? I am BDLM, coming to you with my buddy J4Y, bringing you everything. This is the game, the very last game in the grand final of the Rising Star qualifiers, Flash versus SpaceMonkey. What's going on, man?
We're here again. We're here for the final of finals of this qualifier. But yeah, it's gonna be a hell of a game. You know, Flash against SpaceMonkey. SpaceMonkey's coming into this best of 3 with a game advantage. Only need to win one, but they lost. Flash once again looking so dominant. Really, they get to do the strategy they want to do, and they just run with it.
Yeah, I mean, the thing though is, you know, SpaceMonkey basically made Flash play the same game twice, and they were just as dominating at the same time. They went up against that Templar assassin, and they did just fine. So now I wonder, you know, what is SpaceMonkey thinking? Like, are they going to look to try and go for that T again? Maybe try and ban some of those key heroes? Or are they going to go for just a different strategy?
I was thinking they needed to change it up, or at least, if they're going to do a similar strategy with TA, don't let them get Leshrac and Venomancer. I mean, you're just going to be in for a terribly difficult time, especially Venomancer. I would say probably #1 threat, especially the way that Heng KYKY was playing Venomancer was just superb.
Yeah, I mean, you know, that's the other thing, too, that I think is so just intimidating about the way Flash is playing. I think those last 2 games, it was a solo bounty hunter in a lane where he got nothing, and he still comes back, does fine, gets the tracks up he needs to, gets the items together that he needs to still be able to hit really hard in the later part of the game. DSF doing a fantastic job with that, so it's like, you know, how many respect bans can you make if you're Space Monkeys? They already start with the Lone Druid, we see Darkseer out as well, and now we're actually having SpaceMonkeys go into the reserve time for their second ban. They really are trying to take their time, plan this out, and they're actually going to go with the Leshrac.
Absolutely, makes a lot of sense. And with these bans, Lone Druid, Leshrac, going to leave some bigger names. Lycanthrope, still not banned. Naga Siren, Nature's Prophet, Invoker. All these heroes still to go. And we might see one of them pop into this draft if obviously they keep going this direction.
Yeah, there's certainly many options left. I think it's interesting that they look to ban out the Leshrac over perhaps the Venomancer, but I mean, we are going to have the Lycanthrope. Maybe just fearing, you know, the return of the semi-carry Leshrac like we saw in the first game we got to cast today. So I got to see more of a support Leshrac last game. Was just as effective, though. Of course, you know, again, that was against that Templar assassin, so maybe this time around they're going to go with something else, and they don't want to have that Leshrac show up against it.
Yeah, it definitely makes a lot of sense here. So we're going to see who this third one is. Remember, they are first pick. So actually, they might not ban Naga here if they choose to go with the Naga Siren on their team instead. Could be a Naga Enigma, Naga Tide. There's so many combos to go. But no, they're going to just step on my dreams.
Yep, crushed him beneath the heel. Maybe they'll make up for it by picking Ogre Magi. There's a hope and a dream. The Gyrocopter. Riki Wisp. I mean, these are all things we can hope for. We can dream. But Rubik is actually going to be the very last ban out, and not surprising at all. Such a fantastic hero. Even without the ultimate, I mean, Telekinesis, Fade Bolt, so good. So just limiting his potential in this game to nothing. By banning him out.
There's Invoker or Nature's Prophet first pick? That's the question.
Well, you know, that's the thing. The last 2 games, he wasn't picked or banned. So, I mean, these teams just really don't seem to be interested in it. They are going to go for that Invoker, so they're clearly more interested in that team fight potential, in the ability to gank. And, you know, too, I mean, I think the Nature's Prophets that we have seen actually get into the game really even haven't done all that much, to be honest.
Yeah, no. I mean, they've done a decent job farming up, split pushing, but when it comes time to fight, in team fights, Nature's Prophet doesn't bring a lot to the table. His ulti, sure, does some decent damage. Sprout, though, you can say, doesn't do like pretty much anything. And wow, I love this pick by Flash. Getting the TA, what they might have wanted this whole time, but then also picking Veno so it can't counter him.
And the Leshrac is already banned out. So, I mean, what are your options? You can maybe go Queen of Pain, look to run the Invoker somewhere else, or maybe try and run a Queen of Pain in the off lane. They have to try and look for a way through that refraction someplace else, or they really have to focus on getting people into that middle lane to help Invoker out and holding the Templar Assassin down.
Oh no, you go Ogre Magi here clearly.
Oh yeah,
Little
you get
ignite,
the multicast.
little tick of damage over time. Get those
Yeah.
refractions down, and then you line up with a Fire Blast. Pow!
And then the unrefined Fire Blast, because you're
Of course, because
farming
you're farming. Yes, it's a farming Ogre Magi we're discussing here. I know there was another kind, but yeah,
Yeah.
obviously it's going to be difficult. They're not going to have the really obvious tools. Of course, there's a Chikiro too. He is an option with that Liquid Fire. Could do some damage, but yeah, I'm not exactly sure they really want to go that route.
Yeah, I mean, I personally love the Jakiro pick. It would be a fantastic way to try and deal with that Templar Assassin. So many different ways to put dots on Templar Assassin. The Macro Fire, the Dual Breath, the Liquid Fire, all will help to limit her ability to withstand damage. But, you know, that's the thing. Do you feel comfortable playing a hero like that? Are you going to be able to pick up heroes that will help set up your Ice Path, for instance? I mean, he's really kind of a particular hero, so you can't maybe throw him into any lineup you want. Tinker is still available too, by the way. That's one that we've seen banned out. Would not be a bad decision here, especially when you consider just how squishy Venomancer can be. To put up a level 4 March of Machines and he has to run out.
Disruptors available.
That too, yeah. One of the very early bans in the Disruptor is also available. And look, I mean, this is how much I think they're thrown off. Space Monkeys, they're down to 8 seconds of their bonus time on their second pick. They don't know what to do against the Venomancer Templar Assassin. 3 seconds left, they go with the Queen of Pain.
Well, now we know the 3 heroes getting farm in this game. That's already been set aside here.
And the one thing we don't know is which of these heroes is getting their own lane.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting. You assume TA takes mid, but we've seen it in the short lane before, so not necessarily the case. And now that Broodmother's picked so early, they've got options to counter that. You know, they could go Sand King here. They could go Tidehunter. That doesn't necessarily counter, but does fairly well against her. So, I mean, they've got a lot of different options. I feel like as far as drafting goes, Flash has really been on point with it.
And here's the other thing, too. You're now encouraging DSF to take Bounty Hunter again. Like,
right.
So,
oh, no.
Yeah, so, I guess I'll play him if I have to, but they're not going to look for that quite yet. They're going to go with that Tidehunter, like you said. Can run that solo very easily. Maybe they'll look to, I mean, if they only have DSF as their side lane solo player, he might just take that Tidehunter instead. So maybe Space Monkeys won't look to ban out that Bounty Hunter, but it is certainly an option. They could even really look to pick up like a Slardar, which wouldn't be all that bad of an idea. Add another sort of semi-carry into the mix to go with that Templar Assassin. They're actually going to wind up banning out the Night Stalker first. Try and get rid of that silence potential, which would actually be really disruptive to the Space Monkeys lineup.
That's a pretty good choice. I do like that indeed. But, you know, like I said, I mean, I guess there's no point banning like Sand King necessarily either, because they do have the Tidehunter already, so that's probably going to be the person that goes up against Broodmother. Not guaranteed, but you never know. Templar Assassin actually and Veno are both also pretty decent against the Broodmother as well, doing a lot of AoE damage. And there's the Disruptor ban. I was kind of expecting them, Space Monkeys, to pick him up, to be honest, but I guess they just really weren't interested in having that hero in their lineup.
Yeah, very interesting to see there that they wouldn't grab him early. Really expecting this split push, I think, to be really effective. I mean, it's something we haven't really, or at least I personally haven't seen out of them yet, really having that sort of 4-in-1 strategy. You should have Broodmother always being constant pressure on a lane, while the other 4 heroes run around and cause as much mayhem as they possibly can. You know, that's something that Invoker and Queen of Pain can do very well. Both can be very mobile if they look to pick up particular items. And Invoker, of course, if he does go the Exort build, will have the global presence. But there you go. They don't want DSF to have Bounty Hunter, and I can't blame them at all.
They've had enough. Yeah, they've had enough. That's definitely a good pick, especially against Broodmother in those webs. Track, of course, very nice to have as well. And, you know, honestly here, I think as far as the Space Monkeys is concerned, Nature's Prophet in the jungle could be a solid option. I mean, you know, he could be around the map ganking, especially like you said, if he does choose to go Exort, setting up those ganks to Sprout, always a nice thing to have. You know, I mean, it won't be such great for a team fight, of course, but they already have Invoker and Queen of Pain for that, and they still could grab one more hero if they want to as a support.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, so far they're pretty limited on the stuns. I mean, they really are depending on the Invoker for all of their crowd control, but like you said, I mean, putting a Crystal Maiden with an Invoker Broodmother Queen of Pain would be fantastic. You put an early point into the Aura to increase mana regeneration, and I mean your team's going to do just fine. And it looks like they really are looking to go for a fairly strong push lineup. They're going to grab Enigma to be their jungler, and that's going to be a lot of pressure to a lane if Broodmother's able to get a lot of Broodlings together.
Is this their first Enigma we've seen this qualifier?
I don't think so. I think
Okay.
I've seen one.
I've just been egging myself. Egging. That's not the word. I've been excited
Itching to
to
see?
itching. I've been itching to give a go at the Toby black hole thing.
Oh, you're just gonna. So
Even if you're casting the fight, I'm just gonna yell with you. We're just gonna yell a black hole.
I'll like
Whatever.
somehow cover my ears, but then also scream into the mic. It'll be great, and I'm sure everyone watching will
Oh,
be
they'll appreciate
thrilled.
it. Oh, they'll
Yeah.
appreciate it for sure. Enchantress coming out as a pick after they banned out Chen themselves. So that's peculiar a little bit.
I have a question though. I mean, how do you think Enchantress is gonna do since the nerf of being a lot less pretty?
Yeah, she's so, like, unhappy now.
I'm just.
She used to be this cheery little sprite girl, and now she's just whatever. Like, you can tell her, see, like, shrugging off, like, oh, I was picked? Okay. That's great.
Yeah,
Like-
you know. But
I don't know where she really fits in lineup. I guess they just want a jungler themselves to keep up with experience and gold, and she does push really well early with those minions. So maybe that's going to be a nice... And then Sand King. That is tying everything together. I think this is a much better crafted team for SpaceMonkeys.
yeah, and I mean, like I said, I think this is going to be that 4-1. They have so much team fight potential, and just those 4 heroes, they don't need Broodmother to be in the fights. They'll have plenty of tools at their disposal. Just the 4 of them, so she can be off pushing and farming and doing well. I mean, my problem with Flash is I feel like this last pick, it's really going to be, it's got to be something that really changes the way this team looks. I'm not really sure how I feel about it so far. They have plenty of bonus time left. I mean, when you consider that SpaceMonkeys left themselves with 3 seconds, there's a whole minute that Flash can sit here and think about this. Do they want to look for someone that's going to reveal off the Broodmother? Do they want to go for more push? Do they just want to go ahead and 100% say, we want early towers, let's get one more hero that'll really give us the ability to do that? Maybe actually, you know who I'd really like to see? Juggernaut.
They're not going to, but I'd like to see it too.
I mean, I think
it's
it would
not
make-
going to happen.
It would make way too much sense, though. I feel like you get the magic community, the ability to not take any damage. You run that with the Venomancer supporting. You run the Templar Assassin mid, the Enchantress in the jungle. Run Tidehunter as the side lane solo. I think that would actually be a really strong lineup. But again, this is that kind of regional thing of is that popular? Are people really looking at Juggernaut as being that hero that's going to be able to evade all that magical damage? They're just going to look for a magical damage dealer of their own in the Morphling, someone else who can dish some magic damage out and then do some auto attack damage later on. My dreams are dashed, and it's Morphling.
I told you. Well, they're almost the same hero, right?
They're close.
I mean, one's made of water and one's not, but...
That's the waveform cry. Pretty sure.
Is it?
Yeah.
Morphling!
Yeah,
That would be
exactly.
actually pretty funny if that's in fact what he did, but not going to be the case. I guess we'll go over some introductions. I did Flash last game, so I'll do SpaceMonkeys this one. We can do a little role swapping, if you will.
Oh.
I'm going to go with Dan here on the Invoker. It's going to be B-Boy playing that Sand King support. Bun Bun on the Broodmother going to go that long lane. Bruce on the Queen of Pain, and then Forever Love. No songs attached on the Enigma.
Oh, no song. I'm gonna go for. I've been waiting to pronounce it this way the whole way because I don't actually know how you pronounce Venomancer's name. I'm gonna say Henkiki because I think it sounds hilarious.
Sounds like Hanky.
Yeah, and then we're gonna have Sinister playing the Morphling. DSF is actually gonna be that solo Tidehunter. KS is going to be Templar Assassin, and Milligan is gonna be on the Enchantress.
Milligan. That's probably how you
Milligan.
want it pronounced. Yeah, I've just said Hang KY. I might just call him KY from now on. Just it's almost like HY, but it's KY. Maybe he typoed it when he was trying to say KY. Who knows? Either way, we'll just speculation, right? That's the most fun thing to do. The
Exactly.
pause came out. Apparently 1 minute is needed for Flash here. Maybe some more doors are open and we just need them all close this game.
There you go.
Preemptive door closing. Good
D.
idea.
They need that D.
Does
The
D
door.
mean go? Oh, it was a door. That makes sense, right? Let's just assume.
Assuming
So,
is the best thing you can do in any situation, clearly. It looks like we're going to have Invoker and Sand King rushing up towards the top lane. Enigma as well. Very interesting, though, like just the way that they want to try and move. Um, Maybe they're just looking to try and secure that they don't have anybody place any wards in their jungle. Regardless, we're actually going to have much of Flash look to run into their own jungle as well, and Changers, of course, will be in that jungle position. Venomancer poising to maybe be in that bottom lane with the Morphling, which will allow for the Templar Assassin to go solo mid.
there's no bear to block this game. They gotta feel pretty good about that. Yeah, I mean, God, that thing is such a nuisance, I swear. But Broomhilda's gonna have such a tough time. Really is. I mean, the webs are not. They've already prepared. Of course, these teams on top of their stuff. The Sentry Wards bought up as they should. You know, going to put these down in probably both webs she spawns right away. So that way she doesn't have any chance of hiding out. And then the Enchanters, once she gets some of these creeps, might just look to push the lane with the Venom Wards, and that might be too much pressure.
I think it's really interesting that they actually have their Tidehunter go towards the top lane after they see the web. Maybe they just want him to show himself up there, and maybe they'll rotate, but he does go for that first point in the anchor smash, and if he actually goes in up against the tri-lane, that could be really difficult for him to do. Right now it looks like he will run towards the bottom, so maybe they'll wait until he arrives before they look to leave, or maybe they'll just use him to pull the middle lane. Interesting. Alright. So they're not going to run anybody in their top lane. Very strange.
Teams actually have been doing that throughout this tournament. They've left that top lane alone sometimes, just not really interested in doing anything with it. And already, Queen of Pain not getting Blink first level, but instead Shadow Strike, just do that initial harassment. Templar Assassin actually went Sideblades instead of Refraction. Burst point, looking for a little more range, but obviously when you go up to last hit, not only do you not have that extra 20 damage per hit, but now you're taking that extra damage from the creeps and from Queen of Pain.
Yeah, that's very true. I'm still stuck on this Tidehunter thing. I think it's just really interesting that Flash doesn't think it's worth it to maybe even just buy up the teleport scrolls just so that they can try and move around. Maybe they just really want to ensure, because the Enchantress is going to be in the jungle, they don't want to go the dual lane up against dual lane. They just want to ensure that Morphling is going to have the farm he wants and just really throw that Tidehunter under the bus.
I did not know Tidehunter was such a non-environmentalist. Look how many trees he's chopped down already. Like, he is just not having it with this forest.
No, he was pretending they're all treants from Nature's
They're all
Prophet.
Kunkas. And he's just got to get their vengeance somehow.
There you go. He just etched a little Kunka face with the anchor into the tree and then chopped it down. But yeah, he tried pulling the creeps in the middle lane. It was just a little bit too late for it. It's a really hard pull to make, really. But doesn't get it stacked up either. He might have the time to do it beforehand if he wants to try and maybe just stack up this easy camp and anchor smash it to death. I mean, it's certainly something he could try and do to try and get himself some of that experience. I mean, obviously he's done a very good job this game, or this series DSF, of just finding experience in gold to just keep him in the game enough that he can bounce back into it later when he finally does have the room to pick up some levels and pick up some gold. So I guess I can have a little bit of faith in him.
Perhaps. Hopefully this is the end of the doors and we're done. Okay, looks like we're going. The game will resume. Resume, and we're going to get this underway. Invoker's actually top lane. I just realized that. I expected Invoker, but look, this is why. The Shadow Strike. Templar Assassin is getting annihilated by the Shadow Strike, taking way too much damage from auto attacks as well. And that's the thing with her. She's such a short-range hero early on. Pretty much a melee, only 200 with the first rank in Sideblades. I mean, that's just really hard to last hit with.
Yeah, and I mean, now just picking up their fraction took a lot of pot shots early on, and actually Queen of Pain now doing the same thing in order to get those Shadow Strike ticks up. I mean, she will finally break through that shell. We'll get a little bit of damage over time on her, but really now both these heroes are about the same point, and both might potentially be susceptible to a gank. Looking at Invoker, he still hasn't put a point into Wex or Exort yet, so we don't know if he's maybe going to be looking to go for that global presence, maybe look to try and drop in on that Templar Assassin. We'll still have to wait and see what he looks to do.
At least TA gets the bottle. So after the Shadow Strike wears down, she will be able to get some of this health back. Using the Refraction, just trying to hold out here. Pain comes out on Bun Bun. Oh no, here comes the gank. The Sentry's down. The net. Will it come out from the Warlord? They drop another one. They're going to catch him. He's got nowhere to go. And who's going to get the kill is a question. it will go to the Morphling, and that's a great setup. I told you right off the bat, Bun Bun going to have such a hard time in this lane.
Yeah, I mean, they put the kill on who they wanted to. Morphling, not the most farmed hero in the game, but I mean, it's so early, he's only a couple creeps behind. Now that first blood gold certainly makes up for it. It's only going to go uphill for him. And actually, in the river top, it looks like Templar Assassin in a lot of trouble. Sand King doesn't have the Burrow Strike anymore, but the damage over time, it's going to wear down the refraction. Is he going to be able to get it in time? Trying to do. He misses, makes the wrong turn, almost gets caught in the trees. He will make it out. Now they're trying to turn around on Tidehunter. Will not be enough. SK going to make it out alive. Everybody gets home safe, but very close calls all around.
He waited like a second and a half after it came off cooldown. I don't know why. I thought he'd go for it right away, but did not. And sure enough, like you said, missed it. It is a really short range early on. And that is really unfortunate. Should have been a kill on the TA there, but
bottom lane, actually, Bun Bun in trouble again. Venomous Gale comes out on him, but just scoots out of range of the wards. They're actually now just starting to die, so he will be a little bit safer now by the looks of it, so he can be happy about that.
Ugh, I mean, happy is a strong word. He's gonna be, I guess, happy he's not dead all the time. I mean, I guess that's a good way to put it. Actually, Invoker, wow, poor Tidehunter getting killed by this Invoker. All it took was a cold snap and some phase boots, and it was enough.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, he has that aggressive ward place there, so he's always going to be able to keep tabs on the Tidehunter. That's like the beauty of that ward is you know what their health is going to be at all the time. You know when they leave the lane to go do something else when you're completely safe. And you know if they look to walk into your own jungle. It's a really great placement there by the Dire team to make sure that they can try and get an advantage in this lane. Right now, 1-1, all tied up. Of course, the first blood does go to that Morphling, so you know, the Dire can be happy if they're keeping the score even, but they are going to be a little bit behind because of that Morphling first blood.
Indeed, but I mean, I'm looking already. Enigma claimed to be the second fastest jungler in the game behind Lycanthrope, and you can see 27 CS, 28 now on this Enigma, getting off to a fantastic start with that Soul Ring. Going to be really helpful for his team, especially if he goes that mech. You know, normally you try to have the big debate, should he go mech, blink, or black king bar? And against this team, I mean, all three options are probably good.
Yeah. I'm still, like, I'm now looking at Bun Bun, you know, he's abandoned the lane completely. He doesn't want to mess with this at all. He's actually up, and they're dual jungling. I mean, it's just so interesting to see these teams really be A-okay leaving a lane alone, realizing when it's going to be safe to do so, to try and get just their little bit of an advantage whenever they can. They're not willing to just sit and let the game clock progress. They're really looking everywhere they can to try and get what they can.
Poor doors, just they open and close, open and close.
Clearly Windows this time. I mean, the breeze coming through knocks the monitor off the table. You just, what do you do in that situation? You gotta close them windows.
I was gonna say maybe it's like the doors for the internet packets now. You know, they're just staying closed. He needs them to be open so the internet can travel flawlessly. These are terrible jokes that we're going to stop soon. Disconnect comes out, so he's going to come back up. So, yeah, looking at the CS, I mean, Morphling, of course, being a good contender, but otherwise, the top three are Dire beyond him. So, Enigma, Queen of Pain, and Invoker all doing a wonderful job last hitting. TA just can't stand up to Queen of Pain. I think it's a lot to do with that range early on, plus the Shadow Strike. She's just really, not a counter, but she's pretty effective with it.
Yeah, and I mean, that's kind of the really nice thing about the way they ran their lanes like this. I mean, they have Invoker, Queen of Pain, and Broodmother. If you could get all the lanes to win, that'd be fantastic. But, you know, even if they get two to lose, they still have one of these heroes that is really good with items, has a lot of influence on the game. And, you know, right now, they're really only losing the one lane with the Broodmother. And like I just said, she's doing what she can. She's going into her own jungle to try and get whatever advantage she can. You know, elsewhere, these heroes are doing just fine, and they're going to be able to help push their team into the middle and late part of the game.
Broodmother cannot be shut down this well. It's not a good omen for them. Now, I mean, Tidehunter actually is doing better. Well, has that death too, but has 10 CS. You know, using the creeps in the jungle to his advantage and using the anchor smash, it's a very nice farming move. And once Brood gets a couple levels and that spawn Spiderlings comes up a higher level, she can start farming the jungle pretty well with that too. So hoping to just get a little bit more experience in gold so she can start that strategy.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't even have one of the components for the Soul Ring. Typically, you'll see people start with just the recipe if they're going to be looking to go for that Soul Ring early. May not have had the money to do so for the very beginning of the game. So maybe a little bit behind as far as trying to get that constructed. But if that's the route she wants to go, she's still, I mean, for a really cheap item, has a long way to go still. And it looks like everybody's good. The doors have been managed. And
he has no. He has said I'm D, so he is a door. He has fused with the door and become one with it. So we should no longer have door problems this game. I actually do think it's done though. I am learning this quickly. But anyways, back to the actual game here. 1-1, 5 minutes in. Not a whole lot of action. We see the missed kill here and there, but for the most part it's been pretty good. You see the bottom lane push coming out. About time with the Enchantress. I kind of expected this to be happening right around this mark with her. She's obviously very good with those wisps and the creeps, so this tower should probably be down in the next minute.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of a familiar question, though, kind of like we had last game. Let's say we just open up these lanes, both teams get the early gold, now there's safe room to farm, and which team is going to benefit more from this? If they take down both these towers, Broodmother is going to be happy to sit on her half of the map with webs up and be much, much safer.
Yeah, absolutely. But in the meantime, Tier 1's going to fall. Radiant's tower is down, but now they're going for the Tier 2. I mean, it's a Dark Troll Warlord. That's a little unfortunate, but then again, the Ray's dead. That's more skeletons. That's more targets for the tower to hit. It actually is a pretty good push and creep, all things considered. She would really like to have a second one, I'm sure, but obviously you got to stay around to help the push. And that's exactly what they're doing with these Plague Wards. So already tower down to half health. Morphling hitting pretty hard with these auto attacks. And they might get this if no defense comes their way.
Yeah, and Enchantress actually mind controls one of the creeps, goes ahead and winks at it, enchants it, and sends it back towards the Dire base just to make sure that they get a full creep wave to beat on this tower. And now actually Sinister taking a lot of damage from that tower. Going to have the sprites pop from Milligan, going to hopefully heal him up, and they're going to look to keep this push alive. And meanwhile, Invoker gets to play as aggressive as he wants. DSF taking a lot of damage. He's actually going to get thrown up by the tornado and doesn't look to try and follow this up. Lazy MP and expects it to be enough. Will it be? No! One hit left. He doesn't want to commit, and this will actually be a huge mistake. He could have very easily had that kill if he had just stepped up and landed one more auto attack. But now, I mean, while DSF isn't in the best of situations, it's still alive for the time being. Enchantress will actually die in the top lane as Templar Assassin comes in, realizing how pushed up the Invoker is, how low health he is. Will go down and requires one more auto attack, and it will be. Enigma, in the meantime, denies a tower in the top lane. Score still 2-2.
So nothing happened.
Break
Well,
even.
actually, bottom lane did go down. Tier 2 did, so that's a nice little push there for the Radiant. Yeah, big mistake, like you're saying. Very surprised he didn't get for that one more attack. It was so close. I mean, it was really close. Unfortunate it didn't get it for him. And I'm also surprised Invoker had another misplay. He had the Invoke cooldown off. He could have Ghost Walked and lived, but didn't go for it.
Really unfortunate to see there. The one thing that the Dire can take away from that is that they did get the deny, so a little bit of an advantage to them in that respect. They deny 500 gold to the enemy team, so, it's a little bit of a help. I'm going to go ahead and take a look at the gold and experience graph, and as you might expect, it's not too much in any one team's favor. At the 8-minute mark, though, you do have a 2,000 experience lead, which is pretty nice, and actually here in the top by the Rune, TA is going to try and turn this around on the Queen of Pain. Has Blink available, will blink out. Sand King there, but he's actually going to have to leave. No, TA is actually just going to try and keep this up. He's going to be able to Burrow Strike, and that will ensure the kill. But a missed Sonic Wave, just not necessary at all, but blown just
overkill.
Get that kill, yeah. But, it's a long cooldown at this point. There's no Ognums after that. It's just a complete waste. At least, again, they did get the kill, and they can be happy about that.
Yeah, no, it doesn't really matter. It's like seeing Tidehunter Ravage at one point and be like, well, was that overkill? Maybe, but you got the kill and it's early in the game. You're not going to be doing too many team fights, and you'll get that cooldown back by the time you probably need it. So definitely, I think a smart choice. Well, maybe not a smart choice to use it there, but you know what I mean. Like, it's not a huge loss for them, and they still have Black Hole up, which is very enormous.
Yeah, it is a really big black hole. Broodmother, now with the Soul Ring, able to actually use her Spawn Spiralings as a return to the lane, luckily. There's no pressure on her down here. It's just going to be her and Sinister looking to farm against each other. Might even want to put up the harass. At this point in the game, though, I'm sure really just looking to try and secure the farm. You can see she's now 13-2, catching back up to the 18-0 Tidehunter. So, again, just doing a good job of getting experience where she can, and then coming back when she finally is able to try and get back into the lane. And now it looks like the pressure's going to come from the Dire team onto this middle tower.
B-boy. Wants to get some kind of bird strike. Tornado's going to fly out, going to hit TA, but that's it. Are they going to really dive this? They should really be a little cautious here. There's a lot of Radiant heroes lurking around here. Of course, there is no Ravage threat. That's going to help a lot, I think, because if there was Ravage there, they would be in a lot of trouble. But no, just going to have to fall back for now. You see that Enchantress creep, putting out that little Cyclone, just making sure that everyone has to back off just a little bit. Everyone is so scared of it. Everyone's watched the movie Twister, and they know what happens when you get close to those.
They do. You wind up in a crazy land of Oz. Everything's green. The roads are yellow. I know, but I'm just saying the true devastation of tornadoes. It's well documented. And actually, a nice TA trap gets sniped off the middle lane. Invoker trying to make sure that he can't get ganked, but there is one on the back up there on the high ground. They're going to try and go for it. Tynor does have the Ravage. He's going to pop it. It's only going to land on one. Enigma can still get a black hole. Will he be able to do it? He does, but it's only on the one hero. He will survive, though. He actually grabs Venomancer just by the tip. Will actually go down. Flash KS now has to try and get himself away. Sand King is just going to channel Epicenter. Just wants to try and get rid of the refraction tax. It's not going to do hardly any damage, but now Queen of Pain's going to come in around the side, try and do as much damage as possible. Is going to meld to try and hide there. Looks like DSF will come back in. Not going to have another Ravage. It doesn't come off cooldown that quickly, so just going to help try and scare off that Invoker.
What a good fight by SpaceMonkeys. Being patient, getting out of that reach of the Ravage, and it only hitting Enigma, who has the mech. Obviously a pretty solid choice because he healed right back up to almost full afterwards, caught the two heroes barely in the black hole, excuse me, and yeah, definitely led to a good victory for them. Of course they couldn't capitalize it because everyone dies for like 10 seconds and comes back at this point in the game, so not a whole lot you can accomplish, but still getting the kills and swinging that just that much more favor of the Dire. Actually, middle. Whoa, Invoker. Get back. Oh.
Yeah, I mean, this is exactly why, like you're saying, you want to go for that mech on Enigma early on. That's why you don't go for the quick blink dagger, because if he would have had it there, maybe he would have gotten a better position, but he would have died almost immediately. It was really that heal that let him sit there and safely channel away at that. He would have had next to no health. It could have been 1 or 2 auto attacks to take him out while he's trying to sit there channeling, so gets that big item for his team. Not much more money than that, though, so not working towards anything too important. In the meantime, in the bottom lane, Templar Assassin and Queen of Pain are actually going to have a fight by the rune spot. Looks like Queen of Pain just wants to do a little bit more harassment damage, and they're going to part ways.
They're still trying to push middle here. They're putting up a good defense. These Veto wards. I mean, KYKY, just knowing what to do, how to hold off a push. I mean, Enigma, obviously known as a good pusher himself with those little demonic conversions, but it's not enough. And, you know, wards last forever, it feels like. So, doing a good job holding up the fort here.
I mean, this is absolutely, I would say, working out to the Radiant's advantage. You look at the creep score, and Morphling is 20 ahead of Invoker, the next highest person, because he's just all free farming. He's free farming against a hero that started off so slow that Broodmother isn't able to contest it really at all. So they're not losing this tower to a really fairly strong push here with the Eidolons. You know, it's really, I think, going to work out for them in the long run. But now, actually, they're going to try and go in on the Tidehunter. Gets the Cold Snap. Will he be able to get the Ravage off? He wants to. He does finally barely get it out. And so much damage coming out. Queen of Pain tries to land a Sonic Wave, try and do as much damage as she can. Invoker will actually get killed while invisible. Will the Queen of Pain go down now? Yes, will get the slow, and it's actually going to be an Enchantress minion that claims that kill. A 2-for-1, so working out in the advantage of the Dire, bringing the score 7-4.
Advantage of the Radiant, probably, is what you meant to say. But, yeah, definitely going to push this lane in. 2 Centaur Cons with the wards are going to get this tower relatively easily. And that's the thing, you know, Black Hole, 200 second cooldown. Ravage, let's see, 150. That minute difference made the difference in that fight. You know, Ravage was up and Black Hole was not, so yeah, definitely a great awareness to engage on that, and it definitely paid off.
Yeah, but in the meantime, Broodmother is actually able to push that Tier 1 tower. Is going to be able to continue this push down on bottom. Really uncontested. Saw some pings come out on Roshan. They're not actually going to do that. Tidehunter will come over here, look to see if he can get some free money off the Spiderlings, but there aren't any around here. Broodmother doing a great job pushing them up into the jungle, just farming with those separately while farming the lane with her hero. Will she be in trouble, though? That's the question.
No, that's your answer.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, so I was looking around at items. Actually, Broodmother doing some damage.
Gotta watch this Tidehunter now, taking a lot of damage. Yeah, sorry. I didn't know you were watching it.
And nothing happened, so
there you go.
It's okay. Mid's gonna get pressured, though, in the meantime. They want to defend this, though. Gale comes out, so does the Psychic Tornado. Deny comes out from TA. Very good, but will she pay for it with her life? A lot of cold snap damage coming out, but she is fast. That's a haste rune that you needed to have, and a great deny from her.
Definitely. I mean, just the fact she was able to sneak up there, and this fight's just going to continue to happen. They now want to go for the Invoker, but there you go, Force Staff. It's up on the Invoker, and it's going to push him away. He also is sitting on a Bracer. Looks like he may want to go for the Drums soon as well.
Yeah, that would definitely be probably a solid purchase here. Broodmother, of course, rushing for that Black King Bard. Needs it desperately to have any kind of fight potential here. And in the meantime, Tornado doesn't come out, not landing necessarily, but whoa! There's the damage. Unfortunately, poor KY takes the brunt of it, and they're going to just take him down. Even Epicenter used. We're talking about ultis used overkill. Let's start counting. That's number 2.
Yeah, starting to get up high. I mean, it's not like they're being put in situations where, oh crap, now if we had that ability, you know, the fight would have gone completely different. I mean, they're using these to get single kills, but, I mean, they are keeping that advantage. They have a slight gold, a slight experience advantage. They're now able to push. Venomancer isn't there. They're actually going to try and Burrow Strike, going on the TA, gets Stream, but the Refraction is still up. They're going to try and do a lot of damage to the Enigma, but he does get a Black Hole. But oh no, the shotgun comes out. This Morphling free farm is going to turn against them. Venomancer trying to keep up the fight. They do have a slowed Sand King. They might be able to catch up to him there. He is invisible, but will actually break out of the Sandstorm. They use the dust anyway, just to be sure. Queen of Pain will get away. Does have the blink. Will move out, but they are looking to continue to chase. Now doesn't have the mana for the... Yes, does have it. Enough for one more. 12 off. What's that regen rune so bad? Grabs it, will blink away. Pops the regen rune. The chase continues, though. Templar Assassin will actually look to run away. She realized the Invoker coming over to play. He actually cold snaps her up, looking to continue, and now this full health, full mana Queen of Pain is coming back in. The slow's gonna come in. Morphling comes in again with the shotgun, is gonna do a ton of damage. Looks like the Queen of Pain will actually blink right across the gap and get herself back to safety, but now it's Invoker who's in trouble. He'll go invisible, and that might actually be enough to end this fight. He can't TP out, he has to walk it out. Sand King calling to make sure they get away safely.
Wow.
A whole lot of nothing.
A whole lot of nothing is right. Actually, Bun Bun did get tier 2 bottom.
Oh.
Left alone to do that. Has actually both the Ogre and the Mithril in his stash, and actually just finished the BKB. So there you go. He's going to have that. Was not even a part of that fight. Didn't need to be. But you were talking about that Morphling getting free farm paying off. This is exactly right. That shotgun at this stage of the game is brutal. You can pick off heroes like Enigma, like Queen of Pain. You know, all these heroes are relatively squishy. And this is now where Enigma needs that Black King Bar. You see the Ogre Club bought up. If he gets that, he can channel that ulti. He caught 3. It was a really good position. Just the problem was he had no health to tank it up.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. But I mean, you know, is it worth it? Like Bun Bun, like you said, got that tier 2, and he's now actually working his way towards being on the top half of the last hit and deny board, getting his farm back up very quickly, starting to put, has the BKB together, pardon me. We'll probably be able to get those power treads together very quickly as well. So, you know, in a really good position and really doing her job down here, this Broodmother, placing up a lot of harassment, killing towers, and keeping heroes out of the lane.
Yeah, this is her role. This is her function. Split push all day. You know, make them punish them if they want to go mid or top and push. You know, you are in charge there. And sure, Tidehunter, they're going to send him down here to do the best he can, and he can do a decent job. But he can't necessarily stop her. You know, especially this Black King Bar now. If she starts getting some good auto attacks out with
middle lane, actually, the shotgun going to come out on the Invoker. Takes a lot of damage, and Chanter's going to help make sure he goes down, and Morphling is actually going to pick up that last hit there. That's going to bring Morphling to 3-0-3, off to a fantastic start. Has his power treads, has a Basilius, has the Ethereal Blade, and another 800 gold to use.
Meantime, top, here comes some pings. They know, they see Enchantress. Queen of Pain going all out, killing KYKY. Now needs to find her own way out of this. Actually, the Malphite's coming out. A Ravage hits 3 heroes. Giant King already down. Enigma on the run. Has nowhere to go, no mana to use. Just trying to finish off a hero. Not going to happen. That's now a dead Enigma. 3 fall. And that is just a great fight once again for Flash.Esports.
Minutes ago, this was 8-4, now brought to 9-9. They're doing a great job coming back here, and you know, just a little bit of extension there. I feel like Sand King just barely didn't get, or just got killed immediately after the ulti went. Or no, he didn't even get the channel off. Pardon me. He got stunned before he was able to finish it, and then died immediately afterwards. So wasn't able to put out that massive amount of magic damage. Now Flash, they're just going to move around and look to take a tier 1 tower. In the meantime, though, you're going to have the Invoker, you're going to have the Broodmother, and the Queen of Pain. They're going to try and pick up the Roshan kill to try and balance it out.
Try is a strong word. They got it. But, you know, and actually it's funny, because this great ward here in middle, just for some vision, they saw them transferring over to do that Roshan. They pinged it out, but they're like, you know what? We're kind of far away from there. We're right at the Tier 1 tower. We'll just take it. The gold's almost the same. Of course, there is an Aegis up on Queen of Pain now, which can be very helpful, who has that ulti orb. So it looks like going for that sheep stick really quick, and that could be really nice against this TA or Morphling.
Yeah, certainly. I think it's definitely a great item choice just to try and force them to get a BKB, if nothing else. I mean, that's going to slow down the Morphling mana style, perhaps, or just look to take him out of the fight. You can already see a Templar Assassin looking to pick up an Ogre Club. Will look to try and finish that BKB, and instead of maybe going for that sort of all-in, pure damage Desolator build that you see out of her every once in a while.
I thought you said Desolator.
I didn't mean to.
One day.
One day.
We'll see that build. But anyways, Venomancer going for this hood now. Going to go for the pipe. Enchantress, of course, of the buckler. Going to be going for the mech for her team. So they're going to get those team fight items. And actually, they're looking to set some up Morphling here. But this is actually kind of dangerous. Templar Assassin's right here. I don't think they're going to have enough burst damage. Morphling actually only 600 health. Oh, there's the dust. Blacking Bar used an ulti. Look how much damage she took. Ridiculous. Invoker, Tornadoing, hitting both heroes, but where is Sand King going to use abilities? Missing a Burrow Strike, Epicenter down for 3 seconds. They actually need to fall back, and they might not be able to. Tidehunter has a blink. There's a Gush. Not yet. Are they going to get this kill, though? Absolutely. So much minus armor, so much damage.
B-Boy is having such a hard time today. I mean, misses 2 Burrow Strikes so far, has an ultimate canceled. I mean, it's not like it's his fault or anything. It's just really unfortunate how it's working out for them. And now, actually, in the middle lane, Invoker in a little bit of trouble. Catches a really long-range sniper shot from the Enchantress. Does a ton of damage there, but he will get himself out to safety. Looks like they want to try and push this Tier 2 tower. And what is the Dire going to be able to do without Sand King here to help them?
No, Invoker using Tornado, but not going to serve. Oh my god! Why do I say that phrase? It always happens the opposite. Going to live, barely. Smoke used, but not going to get the kill, but they're going to pressure this Tier 2 and most certainly get it. What a great escape there.
Yeah, it's a fantastic job there. I mean, just has the presence of mind to force Staff out, realize when he was close enough, realize that they might have that dust on him. So, they just do a really great job there. Make sure that he gets out.
Invoker doesn't have 1 point Exort yet. He's level 12. You need that point Exort by now. At least for the Deafening Blast, if nothing else. Very, very helpful to, keep people at bay, disarm them a little bit. Very useful spell to have in your arsenal.
Yeah, especially when you consider you're going up against a Templar Assassin and a Morphling. I mean, later this game goes, obviously, the more and more important that's going to be. And we see actually a smoke used in the top lane. The Dire looking to try and run around here. Maybe we'll use the Queen of Pain for a little bit of bait. Drew's happy to serve that job here. He's going to come down here, just try and do a little bit for him. It doesn't look like they're biting that hard. Looks like Templar Assassin might be coming over. It does have an invisibility rune, so if she comes over, she might actually deal that off. But not going to.
Recipe done on Enigma. Just needs a Mithril. He needs it, in fact, really badly. Like, I don't even know, if I was the Dire right now, I wouldn't want to engage on a team fight, Aegis or not, without that Black King bar. Like, it's that important, I think, to not get interrupted. The Adaptive Strike, the Ravage. Actually, you know what? Those are the only 2 abilities. So, but the last fight it did get interrupted by the Morphling. It was from damage, but still the Adaptive Strike could have done it too. So if he's going to use it well without a Blink Dagger, he's going to need some amazing positioning and make sure to catch both those heroes in it, unless their spells are already gone off.
Yeah, I mean, Templar Assassin's sitting in a similar position, only that Mithril Hammer away from being able to finish that up, doing a pretty decent job of farming this game. Has that Blink Dagger as well. So I'm curious to see what she looks to go after that, the BKB. You can see, again, a pipe on the Venomancer, very common pickup as we've seen in these last couple of games. So he will look to provide that benefit to his team. And Tidehunter actually now has his Blink Dagger. I don't know if we've mentioned that yet.
I did. He used it in the last fight they had.
Well, there you go. And he's actually looking to maybe be able to use it again. They have Invoker in their sights. They want to try and go for it. Is he going to look to blink for it?
Oh, he will, and he's going to get caught. Oh my god, is he going to get caught? Way too much damage. That is all 5 heroes. And Brood's like, okay, bottom time, let's push. And he's here with Enigma, the 2 strongest pushers on their team. And they're going to do a lot of damage to 3. In fact, they're going to have to fall back middle. They're not even close to getting to this tower, and they're going to take way too much pressure. Otherwise, here they come back from the TPs, and this is why you want to have a Broodmother on your team sometimes.
Oh, Tidehunter got so close to popping that Ravage. He started to do it, but then decided to cancel it off, realized it wasn't worth it, didn't have enough support in the area. So, good heads-up decision by him to just cancel that off. In the meantime, Queen of Pain looking to push in top. That's the other thing, too. It's not only just that they have the Broodmother, they have a Queen of Pain as well, who's so mobile. Once they get the creeps pushed in, once these other Tier 2 towers start to fall, it's just going to be easier and easier for Queen of Pain to go back and forth between lanes and ensure that the creeps are always pressing into the Radiant base.
Oh my gosh, this is intense. Sand King has a blink now, so he's going to match up with Tidehunter in that mobility race. Going to be really helpful, I think, for his team. He should have an easier time. I cross my fingers that he can land these burrow strikes now. He's hit definitely a good amount of them, but there's been those key ones that he's missed, and it's been unfortunate to see. So maybe having that blink is kind of like with Lena or Lesh. If you can blink in there, a lot easier to set up that stun.
Yeah, and I mean, those are big kills, especially now that we look at it. It's like, what if there was one more kill on the Templar Assassin, What if you delayed that BKB a little bit more, delay that blink a little bit more? We can't know that for sure, but, unfortunately, that's the kind of price you pay. But don't worry, he's going to land this one. He's going to have Epicenter too, but the Ravage comes in. It's going to stop. The Venomous Gale goes through, hits two. The Ultimate will hit both as well. Sand King will go down as well as the Queen of Pain. And now, are they going to stick around? Are they going to try and kill the Queen of Pain again? They are. Nope. Enigma comes in. He lands a Malefice, realizes it's in too deep. He's going to get torn apart, and now they're forced to retreat. Queen of Pain almost looks like she wants to go up and try and help as well, but will blink out to safety. In the meantime, though, pressure being done to the bottom tower, but next to nothing actually taken off of it. It's only lost 100 health.
What is Queen of Pain doing? What are you doing? Going in on this Morphling. Might go down with this. How many more burst damage do you have? She's trying to juke him around. I think she's just trying to be a distraction for this bottom lane so he can keep pushing. As you can see, going for Tide, he's got his ulti popped, but not doing nearly enough damage, especially Anchor Smash. Going to reduce that enough. And yeah, actually the Tornado comes out, hitting Enchantress. The trap slows him down. Are they going to continue this pressure or not?
I mean, that's the thing. This is the wonderful part about having Tidehunter against a Broodmother. He can single-handedly deal with her, especially when she doesn't have, like the mana style. She doesn't have that super farm that they sometimes get, being in that off lane because of that slow start. So it's pretty easy for him to just be here, Anchor Smash, get himself an advantage instead, especially now that he has the Blink Dagger. He can go ahead and Anchor Smash the minions, and then once his creep wave pushes out, he can just blink back towards the fountain and get back in time to make sure that no damage gets under the tower.
What does Tide go for next is the question. Has the blink. His teammates already got Mech Pipe going. Like, what do you need next on your team?
That's a strong question. I mean, you could look to... depending... See, I don't know. I mean, I would say, like, HH would even be an option. If you really want to try and deal with this Broodmother, of course, because of the amount of damage you can do with the Insatiable Hunger, that might be something you want to do. But, again, because she has such a slow start, is she really doing all that much damage? It's a difficult decision to try and make.
I would like
at this
Shiva's,
point.
I think. I think that'd be a
Shiva's
solid
would actually
pickup.
be really good.
The armor would be so nice against Broodmother and her little spiders. Of course, the AoE damage to kill them all with the Anchor Smash. And then for team, it's just generally a good item. That or a Sheepstick, I think, would really benefit their team a lot.
Or Refresher.
Oh, how did I forget the Refresher?
And it's something that recently has been an aim for some Tidehunters to get after they get to this point and they don't know what they want to do with their money, like we're talking. I mean, I think Shiva's, like you said, it would be a fantastic pickup, and a great blink away is actually going to stop Tidehunter from being picked up. The Shivas would be great, but I mean, it would also be another option just to have two ultimates then at your disposal to use against a dire team.
Yeah, I definitely think that would be an interesting choice. He's got the mana pool for it, so it could work out. Invoker actually finishing up Yules. So looking to go that this game, might decide to use it on either Morphling or TA or himself if he's having trouble surviving, which in the past on these ganks, like you can see in middle, he's just playing around with them. Has Broodmother left bottom lane in the past 15 minutes?
I don't think so, and it looks like Invoker is going to have to leave his lane if he wants to try and survive. He is just barely going to make it out by the looks of it. But yeah, but there's no reason for Bun to leave, really. I mean, again, this is sort of part of that game plan. As long as he's applying pressure, he's doing his job, and it's really up to the other four heroes in this game to stop the Radiant team from being able to push in, from really succeeding. They just really have to open up that bottom lane, and you can see already B-Boy down there with Broodmother. They really want to apply a lot of pressure. The way they're going to defend their base is with a strong offense, but are they going to be able to? They're going to go in on the Invoker. Templar Assassin is ripping through, pops at BKB. They now look to turn around to try and go in back on the tower. The pipe has been popped as well. Now Deafening Blast coming through. The Sonic Wave is going to come through and pop that Venomancer. In comes the Tide Ultimate, though. It's going to do a ton of damage. 2 heroes fall immediately, and now they have to worry about is the Queen of Pain. Is she going to be able to get away? Blanks out. Buybacks abound. Enigma's going to try and come back in. It looks like they may have to actually teleport back to their own base. Sidehunter goes down to try and save the tower, but now actually continued back to the Dire base. They're going to try and go in. The Morphling has a BKB of his own. He's going to try and go, but the Black Hole is actually going to hold him in place. Do they have enough damage? Broodmother has arrived. Is she going to be the source of damage they need? They're going to actually have to turn their focus on the Enchantress and pick up what kills they can get. Oh!
Replicates. Super
Replicates.
strong.
Too strong.
Oh my god. Back and forth. Yeah, you were looking back bottom. Sand King came in, epicentering 3 heroes. And just wiped them out. I mean, it didn't kill them all, but it did a lot of damage. But they did lose that middle tower. Of course, unfortunately, the barracks is still intact. But now they're going to go for this Roshan. And this is the second one, so no cheese yet. But hopefully if they can get this Queen of Pain yet another Aegis and use it better than last time where they got picked off. These Tidehunter ults, how amazing have they been?
They've been great, and that's what I'm saying, man. Maybe he wants to see if he can get a second one out. He's already up to 3,800 gold, and it looks like the three of them, they might be suspicious of a Roshan having this many heroes in the middle lane. They just want to push out the creep wave. They do know the Invoker is there. They might want to have to be careful. He's clearly just trying to keep him off this high ground as they try and finish the Roshan. It still has about 3,500 health left. It might be too slow. They'll try and come in. Is he going to be able to do anything with it? He looks to come in. Anchor Smash doesn't have the ultimate. He's really just trying to dissuade them from being there, and they look to come in. They're going to be able to pop the Enigma, or are they? He's still alive somehow. They turn it around. Bun Bun now trying to go in on the Templar Assassin, but then has to turn. They just want to take the Tidehunter out. Are they going to be able to do it fast enough? Meanwhile, Queen of Pain just getting bashed by the Roshan. She is going to be able to blink away, put up some of that damage. Wants to try and go on the Enchantress. TA actually able to kill Roshan, picks up the Aegis, and is now going to look to turn it on the Dire team and tear them apart. Invoker, very low health, just trying to do what he can, laying with support. Burrow Strikes is barely going to miss because of the BKB. Will Sand King be able to get out? He's just going to Sandstorm there, try and see if Bun Bun can come in and try and help him. He's going to try and push away the Templar Assassin. Are they going to look to try and keep this going? The Yule Scepter going to be used, push him up in the air. He's actually going to blink away, try and go behind. The Burrow Strike is actually going to stop him though. Are they going to be able to take down the Templar Assassin? In comes the Tidehunter. He blinks in to try and help his teammate, but that's actually going to pop the Aegis the Immortal. He's going to come back full health, full mana, and now that they have to try and see if they can get themselves away in time. Sand King very low. He's not going to be able to go invis. The blinks over the top. That's going to ensure that one goes down. Now Broodmother in trouble. Looks like Invoker will actually look to get away, but this Broodmother is so slow. The Gush is trying to use the movement speed and the health regeneration from the web to get away, and it looks like it might be successful. The Psionic Trap, though, that's going to keep him in place. And now one auto attack, two auto attack, and the Gush is going to ensure his death.
Think of it as caviar.
Whew. I'm going to go ahead and breathe if you don't mind, if you'd like to pick it up at that point.
Good
these
gracious.
fights that never end.
Good gracious. It has a lot to do with that Aegis, too. Thank God Templar Assassin made the right choice there. Getting tornadoed up, but she's got support. Got a lot of support. Shotgun, Ravage is up. There goes Enigma. There goes Quap. Oh, I'm sorry. Invoker. Quap's alive, but who cares? It's 4 down now. They're going to easily get this melee barracks.
Cinderella story looking like it might take shape here. Flash playing this game so well. I mean, you know, you consider their last 2 games have been completely dominating. This one clearly much closer, and they're still able to just put it together with solid play. And here you go with the Templar Assassin. It looks like they're going to be able to take the melee. They're going to leave the range. They don't care. They want multiple lane pressure. They realize if they only have the one, Broodmother might still be a big problem, but it looks like Sand King is going to have a big epicenter, a big Burrow Strike, a big ultimate from the Queen of Pain, but just gets demolished. All that damage for nothing. And this is going to be it by the looks of it. Morphling takes that last hit on the tower. They're going to get yet another melee barracks. I wonder if they're going to look to just roll into another lane. The GGs come out. It's going to be Flash. They're going to be headed to the GEST for the $1,500 and the chance at another $1,500.
Wonderful play. I'm so glad to have seen them in these last games playing out their hearts. I mean, it's just amazing. They were down a game for this best-of-3 finals, coming back in the losers, and, you know, really doing a fantastic job. SpaceMonkeys putting up a great effort. I liked their composition, I really did, but, you know, they just weren't able to get it to work together. The Black Hole How many effective black holes did we see this game? Maybe 1, maybe 2. Hasn't been nearly anything close to the scale that this Titanhunter's Ravages have been.
And that's the other thing too. When you look at how the middle game developed, when they were running the 4 versus 4 essentially in that middle lane, it was morphling off farming. They still had the TA there. They still had a significant source of damage to try and help live through that. And finally, when Morphling did decide to start participating after he finished that E-Blade, it was really downhill for the Dire after that, I feel like.
Yeah, so we're going to wait till the score comes in. Thanks all for joining us today. It's been quite an evening if you're back over there in Southeast Asia, or morning for us. But either way, it's been a lot of fun to cast this Rising Stars qualifier. Coming up this weekend is actually the next qualifier. If you go to dotatalk.com, you can check out all of the GEST information. We will be covering it with, I believe, our buddy Gods. We'll be streaming other games as well, and it should be a lot of fun. That's for the Malaysia qualifier, the 28th September through the 30th, 6 p.m. to 12 a.m. each day, roughly. Any final remarks?
No, just thank you guys so much for tuning in, for watching us. We really appreciate having all of you guys here to support us. We're still waiting for these creeps to push in, or for some disconnects to come out. But, I mean, if you guys like what we does, you're welcome to check us out on youtube.com/DotaOnDemand. You're welcome to check out twitch.tv/DotaOnDemand. I am BDLM. This is my buddy J4Y, and this is your stats screen for the Grand Final.